Good morning, everyone, and good afternoon. Hopefully you can hear this time. We had technical difficulties. We'll just, we lost 5 minutes, but we'll restart from the beginning. So hopefully you see the base slide. This is a webinar focused on HPE ITSM automation and containers, accelerating deployment and time to value. So thank you for joining. I think everybody can hear. I just wanted to see if anybody responded with an audio issue again. Okay, good. We're going to proceed. HP Hewlett-Packard Enterprises is who is presenting this. And we have some distinguished speakers I'll introduce in a moment, but my name is Jim Copio, and I'm a manager at Whitlock Infrastructure Solutions. I reside in the United States in the Carolinas BSM chapter and league, and I've been with HPE as a partner for about 17 years and work a lot on the ITSM side. So you're in store for some really good game-changing updates from our speakers, and they are Michael Pott. And Michael is a senior product manager from Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. You may know Scott. He's over in Germany, and he's responsible for outbound marketing and sales. He joined HP back in 1989, and he's had a lot of different positions over the years since 1996. He's worked in IT service management marketing, including market analysis, sales content development, and business planning for a broad range of products like Operations Manager and Universal CMDB. Secondly, we have Scott Knox, and Scott's a senior product manager for HPE software as well. He worked with the Service Manager area for 10 years in various technical roles, so since 1996. So with that, we have some housekeeping real quick. This is a live session, so it is being recorded, so you can grab this later on. I'll explain that in a moment. There is an enlargement button if you want to look for that red arrow, and there's a rectangular box. Click on that, and you should get a full screen. That's probably it on the housekeeping. On the control panel, there is an opportunity for asking questions, and we do encourage that. Ask as many as you need. It's on the left-hand side, I believe, and you just simply type in your question and press the Ask button. And that's going to go in a queue, and we're going to collect all the questions. And towards the end of the webinar, we're going to have the presenters answer those questions, as many as we can get to, depending on how much time we have left. Similarly to the recording, we'll have the Q&A kind of all wrapped up and packaged. So when you go, you'll get a link at the in a few days, and then you can click on that link to grab the recording and the Q&A and any links that are key to this particular webinar. So that's the control panel review. And I'm going to pass it over to the first speaker, Michael Pott, and he's going to go through the agenda and jump right into it.
Yeah, thank you, Jim, for the introduction. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to this live webinar from my end as well. My name is Michael Pott, and I'll be hosting today's event from the HPE end, if you want. I'm in Worldwide Product Marketing for ITSM, and with me today is Scott Knox, as Jim said. So in terms of the agenda, I'll set the stage with what is called here Welcome to the Future. We'll see soon what that means. Then we go into the ITSM automation one-on-one. What this is all about is it gives you some nuggets on, what is ITSM, what is ITSM automation, why should you care, and things like that. And after this first introduction, which only should take a couple of minutes in total, I'll hand over to Scott, who talks us to what we call the first phase and the next phase. I keep that in the shadows for now. And then we close with the vision and the Q&A. And as Jim said, don't hesitate to put questions in, and if we can't answer them all at the end, we'll also follow up offline for sure. So having that said, we have our first audience poll here that Jim, I guess, helps me with again.
Absolutely. So you should be seeing on your screen an audience poll. subject line, and basically it states, are you aware of shifts in the HPE to focus on solutions, suites, container delivery to improve ROI and TCO? So we have a yes and no opportunity. If you could please press one of the two, and we'll calculate that and speak to it. Thank you. I'll let everybody have a few seconds.
Yeah, and by the way, this helps us a little bit, in order to really, provision our time, Scott's and my time, on what we spend more time on versus where we can be more quickly. So I really appreciate your input here. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to go one more second. Okay, I guess we're getting close, so refresh. Okay, so as of now, we have 31 yeses and 17 nos. So that's pretty encouraging. The word is out. 31 yeses, 17 nos.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Jim. I can close the window, or?
Yes, go ahead and proceed. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome to the future. That's setting the stage in terms of, what are the pain points that we're hearing from our customers, from the market, from analysts. In summary, rapidly evolving technologies and trends like cloud computing, mobility, and big data, and this really didn't change since the last 1-2 webinars, as you know, put IT organizations under immense pressure with new applications, data, and risks, new ways to build, operate, support, and consume services, and last but not least, new business models, solutions, and experiences. In this world that is being summarized, by the way, here in text also, a successful IT service desk organization needs to be fast, agile, and efficient, and transform from a traditional into a digital enterprise. And this presentation basically discusses how HPE ITSM automation can help you exactly on this transformation journey. So, ITSM Automation 101. What you see here, some of you may have seen that already, is, let me put that into perspective. First, we have shifted, and that is already part of, of where we are today and what our vision and strategy is moving forward. We have shifted our HPE IT Operations Management strategy from offering what we call a long list of point products, in fact more than 40, to focusing on providing greater, easy to consume value through what we call suites. And these 4 suites are IT Service Management, Operations Bridge, Data Center Automation, and Hybrid Cloud Management. And they all base, if you want, on what we call a core technology foundation. Today's focus, so we are not going to talk about all these building blocks here. Today we are going to focus on IT Service Management Automation, which provides an analytics-driven, highly automated, and orchestrated service desk, including ITIL process orchestration and asset management, as we'll also see on the next slide. What you see here is basically the core capabilities of the HPE IT Service Management Automation solution with configuration management and automated service modeling. Also, including discovery, if you want, building the base of what I would call, or what we call, a big data service desk, which is being comprised of, a couple of larger, bigger building blocks, if you want, like a service portal, ITIL process support with out-of-the-box best practices, asset management, and automation capabilities. And on the left-hand side, you see some more capabilities if you go one level down, like, for example, tasks process automation, big data analytics, JetOps collaboration, and unified operations. So that is basically giving you an idea, if you don't know that already, what HPE ITSM looks like, if you want, from a capability perspective. And one of the key differentiators, by the way, which has been introduced earlier. So HPE Service Manager 9.5.0 is not the latest release, as most of you know, but again, this has been introduced like, oh gosh, I think like two and a half years ago, and we are really observing a good adoption rate here. And this is the fast phase, if you want, of this transformation from our end, where we make the service desk ITSM more agile, faster, easier to consume, as I said earlier. And the big data analytics, sometimes being referred to also as machine learning, drives automation into ITSM processes by mining what is called structured and unstructured data, and by extracting information from that in order to build useful answers from that. What does that help with? What does that mean? It improves the processes of the help desk management. It can, for example, help lowering the ticket volume, decreasing response times and things like that. It also can help accelerate the process of problem management, especially looking into unstructured data. And last but not least, from a user perspective, it improves the search experience across a variety of internal and external content to find answers quickly. For example, if a customer has a challenge with whatever wireless access, you can just enter free-form natural language text, and the service desk gets you an answer either automatically, immediately, or via support of a live agent. And the results are increased efficiency and user satisfaction. I have a few customer examples later on, or in a minute actually, that really prove these claims with real customer data, one of which is Hamid. There was a webinar, I think, 2-3 weeks ago. I don't read all these numbers here. There is also a link to the on-demand Vivid webinar recording. So really interesting. If you get a chance, you can do that. If you want to get a quick overview, you can click on the video also on top left of the page. Another customer from the customers we have that shared some real-world proof data here is University of Pretoria. Same thing, you can listen and watch a short video, or you can listen to and watch an on-demand Vivid webinar if you want to get the details of that. So, moving fast, I have my next poll here because, yeah, we are really interested in getting a picture here from the audience on where you are with the Big Data Service Desk.
Okay, this is Jim. So you should see this momentarily. There it is. So the question is, do you believe the promise of the Big Data Service Desk? And there's definitely 4 opportunities. The first one, I believe in the promise, and I'm working to find a way to get these capabilities. Second one, I am skeptical still. Third one, I am not sure how to get to the point where I can use these capabilities. And lastly, this is all new to me. So if you can kindly check the boxes, and I'll read the results momentarily. I'll give everyone a chance to make a choice.
Yeah, and again, what we are looking for here is, like, we had early adopters for sure, which also proved, efficiency and increased user satisfaction, what I said. But it's really interesting, always getting a fresh snapshot on, where you are in your thinking, which also helps us, in developing the solution further. So, and
okay, cool. I'll give it one more second, and alrighty. So what we have, let me kind of analyze it. So the largest number of answers comes on the last one. So this is all new to me. So there was a significant amount of folks that pressed that. Right behind it in second place, I believe in the promise, and I'm working towards finding a way to get these capabilities. And then much lower down the number count, I am skeptical, and that's tied with it. I'm not sure how to get to the point where I can use these capabilities. So clearly it's new to a lot of people, and then there are a lot of people that are familiar but excited on finding the promise.
Yeah. Thank you, Jim, again. And thanks to you for answering. And by the way, you could either touch base with your local contact or get in touch with me or Scott, and, we can point you to more information, especially if this really is all new to you. There is a couple of things like videos, webinars, and yeah, just let us know. Thanks. So having that said, the first phase, integrated solution suites. Is this where you want to take over, Scott? That's fine with me, by the way.
Okay, I am happy to. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. This is Scott Knox, Product Manager. Hopefully many of you know me, and I recognize many of the lovely names on our list here. I am going to walk us through several topics here. First is the Automation Suite, and by the way, I'm going to be sprinting. If you need me to slow down, just put it in the chat. But for now, I'm going to try to cover a lot of valuable materials. This is our Automation Suite. It is a new licensing model that would allow you to deal with the licenses of service management, allow you to have all of the capabilities within service management, potentially have Service Manager, Asset Manager, the Universal CMDB, or operations orchestration, runbook engines, and so forth. And we believe as we move forward that getting you a license to consume these in much easier ways is really valuable. If you are interested in this, talk to your sales teams and they can help you move forward. But one of the topic areas that we also want to talk about is what's called the Customer Appreciation Program. This Customer Appreciation Program combines that new licensing model of the IT Service Management Automation Suite with the ability to get smart analytics at a significantly reduced rate. And so in this process, you work with your sales team, they submit to us a request, we process it, we figure out what you do have, what you need, and then as a result of that, how to combine that with smart analytics, get you a massive discount and allow you to take advantage of those benefits of the smart analytics big data engine and simplify your licensing models, which we believe can be very valuable to you as you move forward. Okay, next. Because many of our customers are on older versions of the product, I like to start with this little simple reference. And many customers I find are on the 9.3 branch, maybe on 9.4, but I want to kind of give you a kind of a little history lesson just so you understand how much is in Service Manager, particularly in the 950 branch, and that has set the stage for where we are and where we're going. So the first thing is we did a bunch of work several years ago to get our quality up to speed, to put a bunch of tactical product level enhancements in place to make the product mature, stable, ready to rock and roll forward. Then we go through this exercise in stage 2 where we deliver the big data engine. We start to consolidate more and more functionalities into Service Manager and modernize the self-service and user experience. And that whole portal exercise has been a very important part of our agenda, and we will continue to move that forward. Stage 3 is about the place where we are just at the end of stage 3 and starting stage 4 today, basically. So we're shifting our motion and shifting our focus to a suite agenda, and we'll be talking much more about that here in just a couple minutes. But we're shifting so that you can consume all the valuable products, allowing them to work together to deliver real value to your business. We're continuing to focus on more automation, and this green text here about automated workflow and bots and virtual agents and so forth is a big direction for us. And what we want to do, what these pieces start to do, is remove work from your agents so that they can repurpose to do other work that starts to continue to improve your delivery to your business. So for example, if I have a virtual agent that allows an end user to start a chat, and then without ever talking to an end user on your side, a frontline agent, I can automatically ship off knowledge documents. And if I can resolve, 5 to 10 to 15% of those initial transactions, I can then use that frontline agent to start to build more knowledge documents, to start to work on problem assessment and so forth that will continue to return value to your business. Stage 4 is kind of what we are working on right now and kind of as we move forward. And I've called out the Agile quarterly releases because what we realized is that as we were delivering our larger releases, the 940, 941, 950, the ability for the customer base to consume those releases tended to get delayed. And many customers that are on 9, 4, 41, and 50 are actually quite good at staying current with us, and they're able to pick up those releases. But what we want to do is get a much cleaner, faster, agile delivery where we can give you new features. They're much smaller, they're much more consumable, they don't require big upgrades, and then you are now current with the investments we're making. That allows us to deliver new features, new capabilities to you, and allows you to push those out to your end communities. Containerization we're going to talk about here, and virtual private cloud, those are the pieces that we're working through as we speak so that you can reduce the cost of ownership and time to value of your service management solution and getting that moving forward. And then finally, stage 5, you guys kind of but here what we're doing is focusing on optimizing service delivery and also you see here to a service anywhere alignment, and I'll talk more about that later on, but we are focused on how to modernize and get you more and better value on the Service Management Suite. So that little history lesson hopefully is valuable for those of you who are on older versions of Service Management, and if you haven't seen the newest versions, Service Manager 950, for example, I highly encourage you to take a look, especially about the big data components and what we're doing and how those things can put a much better product in front of your consumers. Right, next. Keep going. Get past the bid. Right, the next phase. So here's kind of where we are working through. So moving from point products, and we understand this was one of my, I run the customer advisory board for the service management team, and one of the biggest things, if not the biggest thing we heard over and over again is, you sell me point products, you deliver point products, many of them work wonderfully together, but it's often quite hard to make them work optimally. And so what we've been asked to do is shift from delivering point products to move to a suite delivery where all of the pieces are deployed kind of out of the box. We do most of the work in our labs so that you can deploy all of the functionalities together. And then the next part of that is, can I take that deployment of content, and where it says classic deployment, this is the service manager, the asset manager, OO, universal discovery, bolt the functionalities and workflows together out of the box, make them seamless, do the work to make that easy, and then move to a container deployment where everything is packaged up and simple to use, and then you simply launch the containers. They are pre-configured, all the infra is wired up, all of the relationships between the service management solution at that level, and then all of the underlying infra and the technology stacks are bolted together, they're seamless, they're upgradable, and when we see here the next steps, now all of a sudden you have a much lower cost of owning and managing and running these containers, or running your solutions. And then further, as we move forward here, we start to put wrappers around running the infra, running the Service Management Suite, and we'll talk more about that next. Okay, so here are the pieces. The vision that we want you to understand is that we understand the SaaS experience. We understand that many of our customers want a SaaS-like experience, and SaaS has a lot of functionalities that are valuable. There's the idea that you don't have to run infra, that it's managed for you. There's the idea that we have this codeless, readily updated layers that you don't have to worry about. You don't have to have a big infrastructure team, a bunch of DBAs and a bunch of server people and a bunch of web tier people and whatever. We want to get to the place where the pieces of our solution are codeless and versionless, and all of that just happens. And so where we eventually will get to, much like in the SaaS environments, is we will prove to you, we know you will need proof points, that this container delivery and codeless infra layer delivery works, and then we'll just update it, and it will be much, much less expensive. Next, we'll build in these prescriptive analytics. We'll build in more machine learning. We'll give you more content inside the solution that allows you to be more productive and effective. And for example, you saw the slides from Hemet and UOP around their value in reduced ticket volumes and time to first touch resolutions and so forth. We'll give you more and more of that with big data and with other workflow controls inside what I call the content of the suite. And then finally, we'll give you this choice of deployment models. Customer would like to deploy physically on-premise because that's my nature. That's who I am. That's where I'm at. Maybe I have security concerns, or maybe I have governance and compliance issues and so forth, and I need to make sure that I deal with everything physically in my data centers. Or you may decide to do a virtual deployments, either in a virtual private cloud or public cloud. You would like to be deployed and have someone else run the solution for you, or run it in your own systems in your own clouds. Or finally, you may decide to have a third party come in and fully host a solution for you. And with this new container strategy, you'll be able to pick the deployment model that's most appropriate to you. I can share with you, we've been talking with our analyst communities about this, and they believe, and the word we got back with our discussions is that this could be game-changing for these multiple deployments that kind of meet your needs. You can move in and out as you see fit, and we believe this is going to be hugely valuable as you move forward. Next. Right. What is a container foundation, and why do I care? So again, the target here is that if I think of my service management solution, let's say it's Service Manager and Asset Manager and the universal CMDB today, and maybe I have some UD and OO that are firing along, and I'm working all of that stuff. If I think of that and I wrap it in a container, and that container kind of pulls all the pieces together, pre-wires it all together, make sure it all works, and then pre-wires all of that to the underlying infrastructure, that's really what I'm ending up with as I think about this new container deployment exercise here. We're going to leverage a lot of shared services. We're going to pull together a lot of out-of-box best practices. We're going to give you all these monitoring functionalities and so forth, and then allow you to quickly and easily deploy them. Let's take a look at kind of what that might look like. So these are the pieces that I start to solve with my container deployments. We're going to use functionalities for Docker and Kubernetes that are going to help us move through these pre-wired capabilities are available to you. There's design review programs available if you would like to understand more. But the point is, we'll have a new distribution model where you can download the containers, install them, and when you see the numbers I'm about to show you, hopefully you'll be amazed and want to know more. But we download the new content, download these containers, fully pre-wired, install them, automatically update them as necessary, where we just prove to you through time that, hey, it works, I'm willing to accept those updates, and then the container elements and the controls are all pre-upgraded, and so you don't have to worry about that. And we do it in such a way that it doesn't disrupt your service management solution. And so now many of those big infrastructure costs go away. And then through operations, you start to see how we manage and maintain the containers through time, and there's a lot of new controls, automatic scaling, some self-healing, better monitoring and logging, and all kinds of controls that help you run the solutions and actually reduce cost because of the administration of having big teams to run infra start to go away. So what does that mean? Let's kind of look at some examples here. Right. So hopefully, and I'll let you read this slide for a second, but if I'm running my system in the traditional way, here are some numbers about how long it takes me to set it up and configure it. And part of the problem with that, part of the reason, the rationale, is that we support thousands of customers, a lot of disparate infra needs, a lot of disparate technology stacks. And as a result of that, it's very challenging for us and for you to kind of make it easy to say, well, if I'm using WebSphere, I do this, and if I'm using Tomcat, I do that, and if I'm Oracle, it's this, and on SQL Server, it's that. As we move forward into this new container delivery approach, and we HPE start to pick up responsibility for that, now all of a sudden we can streamline and focus the solution, and you can see the results. Things become much, much, much faster and much lower cost to you and your teams. Now, I know you're probably going, yeah, right, sure, show me. We would love to show you. If you are interested in how the container topic can work for you, if you have questions or you want more insights, let us know. Reach out through your sales teams, reach out to Michaela and Jim and myself directly, and let us get you involved and get you in front of this so you can understand what's coming up next. Okay. So here you see some of the pieces, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but again, container delivery, the way we're working through this, and I'm going to introduce you to another new term here that's called the microservice. And microservices is really just a reference point to code and a shift in how R&D teams deliver code. We have historically delivered, and it's all of the industry, has historically built relatively big monolithic products. Service Manager is a relatively big product. And when you have big products, you build them out, and you often have long release cycles and so forth. Microservices is about breaking those large products down into much more consumable pieces and then allowing them to be built up, modernized, and upgraded in smaller pieces that allow us to be more agile and deliver more for you. As we move forward, our microservice delivery will allow us to get more stuff to you faster, and we're very excited about that. Next. In the container world, what can HPE bring to the equation? Well, first is the ability to install and manage our suite. We are going to give you new controls. They're easy to use, they're fast, and we have the ability to press through, monitor and adjust the systems, and manage the initial deployments allow us to manage the resources that are consumed by our containers, and all of this comes about as a result of the Docker and Kubernetes pair that runs our containers for you. New UIs, easy to use, simplified, and actually way faster. We have ability to run through and do license management and user management. And these are pieces that are both in the container elements that say, I have certain users for my system, for my Kubernetes, and for my Docker containers, but also I want to point out that within the suite, with the content of service management, there is new license management that is coming. There are new reporting out about the usage of your licenses that is coming, new user management about LDAP controls, new links to AD, and automatically pre-created user management inside the tool sets of Service Manager, Asset Manager, CMS, and so forth and so on that will be delivered kind of out of the box. And so this was like the second or third highest rated customer advisory board topic. We, customer, need a better Active Directory integration, and through the controls that are coming in the containerized releases and newer versions of service management, those AD controls and functionalities are coming to the table. Right? Here you go. Better LDAP controls, better lightweight single sign-on between the point products. And this is kind of pointing out once again our view that we want you not to have to manage all the stuff in making service management work for you. We want to handle that and give you that experience so you can focus on your business, so you can focus on meeting your customer needs and not running and managing a bunch of infra and running a bunch of technology. Right. Here we see more controls around managing the system, the containers, the elements that run my service management. I need to scale. I need to auto scale. I need to know that there's an issue and document and correct an issue with one of my containers. And because of the controls we get from Docker and Kubernetes, I now have abilities that I never had before that will make your teams faster. Okay, so that was a whole lot of words. I'm going to take a break here, and Jim, I'm going to hand you this polling question, and I would be very interested in your results here.
Okay, you should be able to see the polling question as we speak, and the question is, do you think that our vision for containers and multiple delivery options can help you reduce costs and complexity? And there's 4 choices: a yes, a no, unsure, and lastly, our management and operations teams are not ready for these approaches. So kindly take some time to put in your answers, and we'll read the results, and Scott can comment.
And I will tell you, I am very excited with the results so far.
Should we have a drum roll?
Yes.
Okay, another 3 seconds, and we'll read the results. Okay. All right, we'll go with the answers. So, in terms of this question, we have dominantly yes. So there's a significant amount of yeses, and then right in second place is unsure, and then right in back of that is our management and operations teams are not ready, and then actually there's only 2 no's. So there you go, Scott. Any comments on those answers?
Yes, I am very, very happy about that. It is one of those places where our new senior VP that came in and is running the IT Operations Management group for us, our kind of owner of all of the software product, came in and presented us with this strategy and this direction, and it has been very excited. And so like Shri and I are working, Srinivas, who's on the call here with me, and others as we looked at this and understood what was possible, it was very exciting. And we are particularly excited that the U.S. customers can consume and think there's hope to get on these new technologies and new approaches and drive some cost out of your solution, because we believe in many cases, the movement to a SaaS world is interesting, and many customers will want to do that. But this multiple deployment option, because of containers and because of the mechanisms that we're using, gives you flexibility, and we believe many of you are looking for it. So that was quite exciting. Okay, on we go. The vision, right? Where are we trying to get to? And this next section is really a bit of a roadmap, and I want to just make sure you're aware this is where we want to get to, and it is not just Service Manager 936, right? We're past that. We are moving on, and we have exciting new things to share with you. So first things, we want to transform your business. We want to help you get on this digital stream. Our high-level investment themes look like this. We want to deliver the suite. We want to allow you to consume all of the products that we believe have huge value. For example, operations orchestration, the ability to drive runbooks from inside Service Manager without ever touching things, and automated deployments, and automated issue remediation, and automated task accomplishment in tool is a huge value. And in our tool sets, there are literally hundreds of pre-designed runbooks for operations orchestrations that run with Service Manager and solve many, many customer problems. And what I find talking to customers for years and years and years is that many of them know about them but haven't had a chance to deploy them. And then if you think about secondary benefits of automation, that all of a sudden the risk of failure is reduced dramatically because I'm using automation, that allows me to do much more and do it much faster, which is a benefit to my business. So more solution delivery options, more choices, and more stuff pre-configured and pre-wired in our suites. We'll continue to expand big data. We'll make new technologies available to you. If you haven't seen the 950 versions with, global search and smart ticketing and all the rest of that stuff, I encourage you to take a look. If there's ways we can help you get that information, let us know. We want to expand beyond IT. We understand that, the HR service desk, or we may understand that service brokerage is important to you, where you have to provide service, but you actually consume service from others, and how does all that work together, and how the ticketing systems work together, and so forth. The CMS, the ability to have the configuration management system, the UCMDB, automatic discovery, automatic event, service mappings, and so forth. We want to make that easier for you. And by the way, if you are on older versions before 940, for example, please take a look at how we are integrating and interacting between the CMS and Service Manager. Let us talk to you about that, because there are some major changes in how we deal with the CMS integration and solution that we believe will really help you get there. And then finally, this idea about the digital service desk with virtual agents and bot technologies and things that are designed to offload work from your engineers are very important, and customers are starting to consume them and realize that there's excitement there because I free up my agents. And this enterprise chat ops. If you haven't seen the chat ops presentation, we would really like to get in front of you with that. If you imagine the major incident process, right? So I have a major incident, and what I do in most of my customers is I go out and I grab the 8,000 people who might be involved in why did my banking system fail yesterday, or why is it down right this minute, and then they're all collaborating and interacting and working on a phone call oftentimes. If you imagine putting all those people into a chat conversation and then allowing that chat conversation to reach into various tools to get information for the chat, and or to put information from the chat into various tools to update tickets, to do reassignments, to do all this work, that chat ops conversation now allows us to resolve issues much, much faster. And in fact, in the University of Pretoria video, there's at least one video there of Charles and his team about how they solved a massive issue during finals week when their test system failed, and how they used a chat ops solution to get there. So if you haven't seen chat ops, it's really worth looking at. I encourage you to take a look and let us tell you more about it. Right, next slide. This is about our integrated service management suite, and our motion here about combining and moving forward all of these pieces, built-in prescriptive analytics, right? The promise is exciting. But this is a slide I want to kind of leave you with, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because we're basically out of time. We are making a major transformation on what service management is about. And here, we will have another Vivid webinar as fast as we can get it organized. But what we want you to understand is that we are converging the service management offerings of HPE. And that, in this discussion, what that means is that we are going to take the best of Service Manager and what we do well, and that broad, deep functionality, that technical ability to expand as necessary, best practice out of the box and so forth, combine it with the technology stack offerings and the user capabilities and the look and feel and data model of Service Anywhere, bring those pieces together into a conjoined whole and deliver a broader, deeper suite solution for you. And we believe that the promise here, and this is near term, this is not 6 years from now, this is real and coming together quickly. We will be presenting more information here, but this conjoined solution as we march forward, we believe is going to be game-changing for you. So the combination of conjoined solution, container delivery, lower cost, all of these pieces become very valuable as we move forward. Okay, I think that is enough for me. Jim and Michael, I'm going to hand it back to you, and,
thank you.
And we'll go from there.
Okay, I see we have 5 minutes, so we can field a few questions, and then we have 2 wrap-up slides, and we're all done for today. So let me just take a look here. There is a question about how can I learn more about Process Designer? And I know there's a good YouTube out there that we can post after this webinar. Anybody want to say something further on that question?
Right, so I'll start. Right, Process Designer, there's a lot of material available on Process Designer. There are webinars out there. We can certainly get you caught up. We'll have the name. We'll reach out directly, but the customer support team will know definitively. You may come through a partner and have partners that you work with regularly, but the help server has lots of information on Process Designer. A version will matter in this discussion, and so there are ways to upgrade to Process Designer. It's a relatively straightforward exercise, and then how you move forward from there, we can get you the information that you need. And like I said, there's a lot of it out there.
Okay. And Cherie did internally offer a YouTube video that we'll post after this as well. That's supposed to be slightly dated, but it's very good. Another great question on what about customers that have highly customized legacy service manager systems? How does that all work with this containerization and so forth?
Great question, actually. So two parts. First off, if you think about your service management system, regardless of how much or how little customization is in it, containers simply wraps around that. And so for this discussion, you could just imagine I can pick up my service manager and drop it in a container and run it as it is as a general rule. Now there's obviously a lot of discussion around how that works and whatever, but think first, I should just be able to wrap my service manager in a container, carry on, life should be good. The second part of this, as we talk about upgrades and migrations and how I move onto the container suite, the material, or what I call that content layer of my service management or asset management or CMS or whatever, all those pieces, as I start to move through that, we're going to have new ways to migrate onto a simpler, cleaner solution and then get more out of the box, because what we find over and over and over again is many times the things you tailored and customized are actually in product already. And so part of your customization may be to solve an issue you encountered connecting Service Manager and UCMDB, or connecting Asset Manager and Service Manager, or whatever those pieces are. As we look at the new solutions and we look at this broader, deeper solution set, many of those customizations can possibly be just thrown away, and you just adopt the newer out-of-the-box solution. Once again, this is a great place. Let us come in, have a conversation with you, and at least follow that up and talk about how you start thinking about the migration approach.
Thank you, Scott. Well, we're going to truncate the questions just because we're close to the top of the hour. I want to call your attention to two key upcoming events, just so you know. And definitely register if you can make it on May 1, 2, and 3 of this year. In Dallas is the ITOM Summit. Of course, Service Manager, ITSMA, and all the things spoken about on this webinar will be highly represented at that ITOM Summit in Dallas. So that's the first one. It speaks for itself. And the other one for those in EMEA, very similarly, there'll be a summit for customer forum, and that's May 16, 17, 18, 19, and it's in Dublin, Ireland. So please take advantage of either or both of those events. Again, you're going to see a link in a day or so, and you can click on it, and then you'll be able to capture the recording and the slides and the Q&A from this webinar, so you can play it back and share it with your colleagues. Lastly, and we'll wrap up, there is a survey we'd love for you to fill out. It takes a whopping 15 seconds, and you can opt in for more information as well. And I see we got a polling question. Would you like to hear more about product updates and news from HPE? And yes or no, and then we're going to let you get back to your day. So please fill out that survey.
Yep. And that's the survey, Jim.
Okay. And we mostly have yeses for that, so that's awesome. All right, we're going to conclude. Thank you, presenters and Vivid, and have a great day. Enjoy.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.